Good morning, students. In the last lecture, we have studied about subsidiary functions of bank and types of bank account. Now, moving further, our next topic is services provided by bank. The main function of the bank is to invest money, provide loan, and to accept deposit. In addition to this, the bank has some more functions like looking after financial transactions of the customer, issue the letter of credit, issue the traveler's check, issue drafts, RTGS, which is also known as real time gross settlement, NEFT, also known as National Electronics Fund Transfer, bank overdraft, loan, credit cards, debit card, and work related to core banking. Now, let us see the first one, to issue draft. Draft means a check written by a bank addressing another branch. The name of the person is mentioned in the draft and order is issued to pay the amount to that person. The bank transfers the amount as the issuing authority on behalf of the customer. When a person wants to send money to another person, he goes to bank, pays money and the commission to be paid to the bank for issuing the draft and request the bank to issue the draft. The sender requests the bank to issue the draft in favor of the receiver. The bank orders its branch or its associated bank located in that area of the receiver to pay the amount. The draft can be deposited only in the account of the person whose name is written on it, as it is account payee only. Unlike check, such draft never bounces. To get a banker's draft, a bank customer must have funds or cash available in his account. The bank will freeze the amount needed or move those funds into the bank's account to complete the payment. Next service is banker's check, also known as pay order. Banker's check is a facility similar to bank draft. The check issued by the bank against the payment accepted by the bank is called as pay order. Pay order can be encashed in only in the same city. Third is RTGS, which is also known as real time gross settlement, also important for your exam in 2 marks question. Now let us see, when an RTGS member bank transfers money to any other RTGS member bank anywhere in India, this method is called RTGS. Each of RTGS member bank branch is identified through IFSC code. It is an 11-digit alphanumeric code. IFSC code is provided by Institute for Development and Research on Banking Technology, which is located in Hyderabad. RTGS is a method of transferring money from any bank in India. In this method, the amount is debited or credited as per real time and as per gross settlement. In RTGS method, money from an account of an account holder of a bank is transferred to the account of the account holder of another bank in India. The transaction is not done in cash, so both the sender and beneficiary need to have IFSC code. For the deposit transaction of 2 lakhs or more, RBI provides services through RTGS. In this method, the amount is debited in the account of the receiver on the same day as soon as the bank receives instructions from the sender. RTGS is typically meant for larger value transactions and the minimum amount that can be sent via this mode is rupees 2 lakhs. This electronic fund transfer system allows the money sent by the remitter to immediately reach the payee or beneficiary as and when the money transfer transaction is initiated. Here, gross settlement refers to the processing of transactions of an individual basis and not in a batch-wise system. Next is NEFT, again an important question for 2 marks. NEFT means National Electronics Fund Transfer. NEFT is a nationwide payment system that allows the transfer of funds from one bank account to another. RBI has regularized that NEFT transactions will be available 24/7 hours on all days of the year, including holidays. There is no upper or lower limit on the amount that can be transferred via NEFT. All NEFT member banks are identified through IFSC code. It is also an type of payment just like RTGS. This arrangement is provided through online system. For this, IFSC code is given. IFSC code means Indian Financial System Code. In this system, there is no limit on minimum amount. Maximum rupees 2 lakh can be transferred in batches in this system. RBI is setting transactions on hourly basis. In this system, money is credited to receiver's account on the same day or within 48 hours. Here transactions are settled batch-wise through DNS, that is different net settlement. Maximum 10 transactions can be there in one batch. Now let us see some information regarding IFSC code. All NEFT member bank are identified through IFSC code. IFSC is an alphanumeric combination of 11 digits. In this method, commissions is charged from the sender, but in case of inward NEFT, wherein the receiver is not charged any commission, and rupees 50,000 or less money can be NEFT by depositing cash in bank, and the facility of NEFT is available to walk-in customer from all NEFT member branches of the bank. Next is bank overdraft. Overdraft is extension of credit when the salary or saving account balance is zero. A businessman holding a current account with the bank. It means when the facility to withdraw more money than the credit balance of his account is security given, then it is called bank overdraft. The businessman may get overdraft on the self guarantee or the securities as a guarantee of the other. The interest has to be paid only on the overdraft amount through the maximum amount sanctioned for overdraft. Overdraft facility depends upon the customer and the bank relation. Bank overdraft allows you to meet short-term funds requirements with a flexible repayment option. Next comes cash credit. The loan provided to the businessman for the growth and development of his business, considering the stock and due collection of the money, is called cash credit. In this kind of loan, the stock of goods remain under the hypothecation of bank. The rate of interest is paid by the business units according to the amount and the time used for loan as decided earlier. It enables a company to withdraw money from a bank account without keeping a credit balance. The account is limited to only borrowing up to the borrowing limit, also interest. And the last is loans. The main function of a bank is to receive deposit and to provide loans. The bank receives deposit at lower rate and provides loan at higher rate. The bank provides loan to the client businessman in different ways. The bank provides loan to the customer for different requirements like buying a house, buying furniture, renovation of the house, buying a vehicle, or for the development of their business. If the advance is for long term and the amount repayment is paid fully at the time or at the regular term installments, then it is called as loan. In order to secure the loan account, the bank keeps the immovable property of the client as mortgage. Such loan is repaid according to the terms decided at the time of sanctioning loans. Next is internet, core banking and mobile banking. Bank transactions are done through internet. For this kind of system, bank has also set up arrangement like e-corner or e-gallery. In this kind of transaction, the bank provides unique code or password to the customers. In this type, transactions are done in two ways, namely financial transactions and non-financial transactions. First is financial transaction. Here, bank account holder transfers money from his bank account to another bank account of the other bank account holder. This transaction is called financial transaction. Payments such as telephone bill, tax bill or other such payments are included in this. Second is non-financial transaction. In this kind of transaction, financial transaction is not included, but the account holder does the transactions like getting account statement, checkbook request, PIN change, stop payment request and other such non-financial transactions. The following functions becomes easy due to use of internet in bank. First is core banking. Now what is core banking? Core in the core banking means centralized online real-time exchange. In this system, all the branches of the same bank located in the different parts of the world are connected to one another. In the centralized server of the bank, all the details of all the accounts of all the branches of the banks are available. Entry of transaction of an account holder of a bank is recorded in the centralized server of the bank in real time. The change in entry occurring in this centralized server can be seen in all the branches of the bank. The account holder of any branch can complete his transaction from any other branch of this bank. He can withdraw or deposit money or can do transaction in his account from any other branch. Thus, the account holder becomes the customer of the bank and not of the particular branch. This process can be done in different branches of the same bank. Because of this arrangement, time and expenses of both the bank and the customers are decreased. Next is e-banking or electronic banking. In this kind of banking, transactions are done with the help of electronic media instead of physical method. In the present time, all banks are connected through internet to their branches by the medium of server. So a person can withdraw or deposit money from any other branch regardless of his home branch. Banks have established their e-corner at different places by means of which the customer can neither withdraw or deposit money from his account through his ATM card with the help of machine. He can also know the balance in his account by this system. Because of this kind of transaction, the bank also registers the account holder's mobile number on which the customer receives messages whenever there is any transaction in his account. Banking work becomes easy because of this system. Next is mobile banking. Mobile banking is such a system through which any financial transaction is made possible from any corner of the world through electronic equipment, that is, your mobile phones with internet connectivity. The person need not have to go to the bank physically in this system and can manage transactions like knowing the balance of the account, paying the light bill, gas bill, taxes or making other payments. Money can be transferred from one account to another. The customer has to make an application to the bank in order to get this kind of services. The bank then provides login ID and password for mobile banking. It is also necessary to follow the security rules in this system. Mobile banking has 24-hour access to account balances, account history, and transactions. Secure mobile check deposit using the smartphone cameras, bill payments, loan payments, money transfer, security, fraud alert, travel services, etc. Our last topic is services associated with bank. Here you can see a list of services which are provided by the banks, but we shall study about few such as ATM card, credit card and debit card. Now, what is ATM? ATM or automated teller machines are mostly used to withdraw cash. If a bank allows it, you can also make deposits into an account during and outside regular business banking hours. This card can only be used at ATMs and requires a PIN, personal identification number. All withdrawals using an ATM card are immediately deducted from a customer's account. If a card is lost or stolen and the consumer reports it before any fraudulent charges are made, there is no liability. The limitation of maximum withdrawal amount in the single time is also fixed by the bank. The bank provides ATM card to the customers. The customer is also given a secret PIN. Money can be withdrawn from the ATM of the other bank also, but some extra charges has to be paid for the same. Now, what is credit card? Credit cards allow a consumer to purchase goods and services by borrowing against an approved line of credit. It is a loan. Purchases made during the month are billed to the credit card holder and you will pay the bill at the later date. Should you be unable to pay the entire balance due, then the credit card company charges you interest. If the payment is late, the credit card company may also charge late fee and revoke promotional interest rates. Unlike an ATM or ATM debit cards, all charges as well as any cash advances are not automatically deducted from your checking account unless specific arrangements are made through the bank. Then the balance statement is sent to the card holder at fixed time which he has to settle or repay within the prescribed time limit. And the last is debit card. This card can be used at a place where there is an arrangement to do the transaction through debit card. The card holder makes payment of his shopping through this card. This card is given to the seller to swipe after the shopping. The billing amount is debited to the account of the card holder. The card holder can spend only from the available balance in his account. As debit card makes it more difficult to overspend since you are limited to only the amount available in your checking account. With a credit card, you run the risk of spending beyond your means. Just because your credit limit is $1,000 doesn't mean you can afford that sort of spending in your monthly budget. Plus, debit cards offer the same convenience as credit without requiring you to borrow money or pay interest or fees on your purchases. Choosing debit is great for managing your money and helping you live within your means. Hope you all have understood. So, here we end our chapter number 3 and now I shall request you to answer few questions. First is, what is the meaning of bank? Second, minimum, how much amount can be transferred in NEFT? Third is, define traveler's check. Fourth is, give any 2 examples of non-financial transactions done through e-banking. And the last is, state only the main functions of the bank. Thank you.